5 records that I recommend for people to get into a flow state. Guys, I hope you're doing well. It's AP right here, TerraChat98, however you want to call me. I hope everyone's doing absolutely brilliant today. Happy Sunday. I want to take you guys through 6 records. I did make a mistake at the start. 6 records that I recommend for people to get into and to start to listen to and start to get enticed into. My rationale for these 6 records comes from many things. My criteria for this is creativity with the music, the connection that you have to the music. Does it provide lyricism or a lack of lyricism that allows you to create an interpretation with the music? Lyricism can distract individuals from work. That's why a lot of individuals tend to listen to great instrumentals when they're trying to get into a flow state of work. I believe it's very important that we cut out the lyricism and allow the music to be entranced via our ears into our brain to allow us to focus. The connection that you make with music is incredibly powerful. That is what allows music to be so powerful, is interpretation, the creativity behind it, the peak and the artistry that goes behind music as well. These albums are absolute favorites of mine and personal favorites of mine because of these reasons. I can listen to them very consistently, very frequently, and I can create my own interpretation behind this music. There's no objectivity behind this. So let's get into it. The first album that I have here, guys, is from John Coltrane, I Love Supreme. 4 parts, about 39 minutes, okay? Pretty much, guys, we got Coltrane on the sax, we got a guy called Jimmy Garrison, McCoy Taylor, and Elvin Jones on the drum. All right, Elvin Jones is a very well-known drummer. This is a very spiritually enlightening jazz album, okay? So definitely give this album a listen. It's very powerful, can get very climatic, and very in flow. That's what I will say about this. I really love Elvin Jones on the drums in this album quite a lot as well, which is very, very entertaining, very enthralling. I'm not a big music guy when it comes to criteria. I can't give you guys, bookworm ideas on music itself. However, I can tell you this is beautiful jazz, and I love jazz a lot for this reason, okay? This was from 1965, I'm pretty sure as well. Love Supreme. Number 2 is Introducing by DJ Shadow. Probably, in my opinion, the greatest hip-hop album of all time. That's not Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. I'd probably say this is a very, very close number 2 in my opinion. I would say, in terms of hip-hop, I would say it's Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, then Introducing by DJ Shadow, Mad Villainy by Mad Villain, Atrocity Exhibition, then probably something from Def Grips, maybe The Powers That Be, if you guys know who that is, all right? This album I love a lot because it's just very creative instrumental hip-hop. The relaxation behind this album just allows you to really focus with work, okay? It isn't too hectic, it isn't too heavy, it doesn't have a lot of excessive sampling as well that kind of keeps you going left field all the time and constantly, but it's creative enough that it was very groundbreaking for its time, particularly in 1997, when there was a lot of tremendous albums in the hip-hop world at this time. This was the one in 97, I feel like that really broke out for me a lot. So that's Introducing by DJ Shadow. Okay. Now, by the way, you can get these albums on Apple Music or Spotify, so you don't have to get these on vinyls. I just have these on vinyls as well, so I can listen to it on a vinyl player. So we got Maggot Brain Funkadelic as well. This album is absolutely phenomenal. Very underappreciated album for its time. It still is reasonably an underappreciated album, period, just because a lot of people look at the first song. And I think the first song on this album is one of the greatest pieces of music of all time. It's Maggot Brain, by the way, so it's self-titled. I love the very psychedelic guitar play that it does have, and it's very emotional because it almost feels like a funeral theme to an extent. Feels very sombering, very mellow, very dark, but as well as the progression occurs with the track itself, you can definitely sense there's a glimmer of hope behind the song or behind the track. So I love this man, George Clinton, one of the all-time great producers, in my opinion. Okay, so we got now Burial's Untrue. I love this album a lot as well for how it kind of really just entranced the electronic scene nowadays with the sampling. The advertising of this thing as well was actually quite ahead of its time. And it's just a beautiful album. I just like how methodic it is, particularly Archangel. I love that song so much. It's still in my playlist all the time, particularly on a drive home, at nighttime as well. This is definitely one of those albums that you could listen to, particularly at nighttime if you're working. I know some people do not work during the day and they prefer to really do some very, very locked in work on the night period. So this is a great album to do that for sure. The Black Saint of the Sinner Lady is an incredibly chaotic album. This is one that I definitely don't recommend people to just get into straight away. It's very, 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 it's quite a hectic album. I will say that, but it's an unbelievable album, guys, once you get into it. As I said, it's just very, very enthralling, particularly the final parts of the album as well, that are pretty sure about 16 to 17 minutes long. It's a very, very powerful piece of work in my opinion. You can definitely tell Charles Mingus is a very obsessive individual about his craft, and the chaos is what makes it so beautiful. So if you're looking for an album, particularly with working out as well, that you don't want any instrumentals to interrupt you, but you want to be in a very highly focused state in the gym, this is actually a very great album for training with, because it's so chaotic. But as well, it doesn't distract you away from the thoughts that are going on in your head while you're training, and there could be some pretty hectic thoughts while you're training as well. So it's a very it's jazz music that induces fear, is what I would say, at its climax or its apex, is what I would say. Now the final album, guys, is probably my absolute favorite jazz album of all time, and you guys noticed that they're very spiritual albums, these one, guys. Particularly if you listen to them, it's Pharoah Sanders' Karma. Okay, this is quite a rare album of vinyl to get. So this was about $200, I'm pretty sure, $300. This was forked up a lot of money for this one. But what an album, what an album. You know, the creator has a master plan, is a 32-minute ode to spiritual jazz. And that's what you'll see with a lot of these jazz albums that I recommend. The Mingus album, Coltrane, and now Pharoah Sanders, is that they're very spiritually entrancing albums, okay? And that's the point of this music as well, is that the flow state isn't just about work in general. It's about being in the present moment, with maybe even trying to get closer to the metaphysical realm, to God, okay? And it's quite important that we here and there learn to attach our spirituality in the moment as well within flow. So I hope you guys get where I'm coming from with that, and I'm not just like talking rubbish either, but it's this idea of you got to connect spiritually in the moment as well to everything else in your life, all right? Because we don't really give ourselves enough time for the spiritual elements of our life. I'm not talking about astrology. I'm not talking about knowing what your star sign is, okay? That's just a cop out for most individuals to say, oh, I'm a Pisces, okay? That I'm spiritually strong. No, you're not. If you're using astrology as your cop out to say you're spiritually strong, you're not spiritually strong. One of the greatest ways to improve spirituality is to listen to music that entrances you to get closer to that metaphysical realm within the energetic state that we are. Because you got to remember, humans are energy. That's all we are at the end of the day, man. We're just matter. So it's important to connect ourselves in that moment of spirituality via jazz music like this. So the saxophone and how it's played in this thing is chaotically beautiful, and that's what you'll see with most of this music. It's just chaotically beautiful, and chaos allows us to focus in the moment, I feel like, because when chaos is organized and better adjusted, it allows for a lot of powerful eureka moments towards our businesses, towards our work, towards our gym, towards everything in life. So there's that. Guys, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment as well. What do you guys want to see next? What do you want the next video to be? I'm going to be ensuring to upload daily to this channel, guys. Work doesn't stop here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope to guys see you in the next one.